Welcome to the Corie Sheppard podcast. I am your host, Corie Sheppard. Welcome back to everybody who's been listening. This is a very special episode for me and for all of us in the production team, because we have gotten requests to travel to do episodes, right, David? They tell us they will come. They tell us we will go. But we've traveled for one episode, so we're no longer in Kansas. David told me to say that. I don't know what it means, but we're no longer in Port of Spain or no longer by affordable imports, because we came to meet the man who is the reason why I do this personally, Mr. Alvin Daniell. How are you going, sir?
I'm doing fine, and this has been a special thing for me too, because I've always wondered, I've interviewed so many people, who's going to interview me? And when David said, we have a guy named Corie Sheppard that really been inspired by your work and is doing podcasts, I said, interesting. And, I always had other people come to me and say, I would like to continue a program for you. I say, you look quite qualified. But I must say, Corie did. And what's most interesting, here in Miami, getting the call that they would come to Miami, I wouldn't have to go to Trinidad, and interview me. It made me feel very important. And the most interesting part is I called my daughter, Rachel, and I said, Rach, I have to do an interview Saturday coming by a guy who does podcasts and so on. She said, what's his name? I said, his surname is Sheppard. I don't think you'll know him. She said, wait, what is his first name? Don't tell me it's Corie. I said, it is Corie Sheppard. She said, that's my boy. That is the guy I'm always watching his podcast. And she started to tell me how many podcasts she's looked at and how many times she's looked at it.
Nice.
She said, hello, we're going and buy some clothes.
David, we should have buy clothes too. We should have buy clothes. Which camera is mine? This one? I have to tell Rachel, your father is the reason I do this. So when you say, people say they will take up from where you took off, like, there are so many interviews I did. I couldn't do what I doing without doing what you had done. Because I tend not to like to start an interview before I saw what you did. I kind of look through your whole interview. I say, all right, I see what Alvin asked here. I see what. So I almost treat it as if I'd taken the battle from somewhere. I say, all right, well, this is here. So I'll reference it and I will say, boy, almost as if I want people to, when they look at it, go back and look at the original one, because you have a fresh face Baron. Some of them interviews you have.
You call a good one, yeah, Baron. Let me tell you something. Baron, when I say, I always had the attitude, you tell me where you want to be interviewed. And Baron said, you're coming where I live in Toco.
Really?
Yes. And then when I went and I saw him feeding goats and cows and animals, I said, well, what? I didn't know the Baron was this type of person.
Yeah.
And I remember he had a drink in me and he said, if you film me with the drinking and people go feel it's rum, And it's really water, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was an interesting interview.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing him in the land where he said this is his true love
Really?
was special for me, And we ended up spending the whole day together because it wasn't about I interview you and I gone.
Mm-hmm.
I remember with Coco, it was the same thing. Coco said, I am celebrating my victory on my birthday of the Independence Calypso competition.
Right.
Come down, we're going to have a lot to eat and drink.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went down, that is the way it was. People were singing, they were laughing, they were joking. And after a while, I said, we have an interview to do.
Yeah. It's something I always want to ask you, because it did feel that way with a lot of your interviews. It felt like because you almost every interview is in a different place. Like I saw one with Shadow, for instance, before I go back to Baron. I see Shadow in studio, then I see you by Shadow. You used to do a lot of that. So your interview, how long you used to take doing them things?
No, we used to plan it well. And I would call the person first and find out where they wanted to be interviewed. Now, Shadow was a difficult one.
Yeah.
Because Shadow normally didn't do interviews. And he told me so. He said, I don't like to be interviewed. And when I went, he was being difficult. And he said, shh. And I said, how do I win him over?
Mm-hmm.
And then he came out because he was doing something in the studio. Then he come back. Then he said, why you want to interview me? I said, because I love your work. I love the songs. I love your creativity. He said, you know my songs. I said, I know from the very first one. He said, which one? And I started to sing. Steelman boys, please listen to me. Dig the beat of this. He said, let me get my guitar. And that was it. I just do so to O'Neill. I say, O'Neill,
Go.
camera time. And the rest was history. We had a beautiful interview.
It was.
And many of the interviews were like that. People doubted who I am and do I have the authority to interview them? Because a lot of them did not even know who I was and what I was about. And this whole concept of Calypso Showcase was entirely new. And how Showcase started, I'm sure that's one of the
Of course.
I only go there.
Everybody wants to know. You could go. How did it start?
It started from 1990, the coup.
Yeah.
During the coup, the people who took over TTT to keep people focused, they kept playing old videos of people, Calypsonians singing Calypso. And I said, wow.
One of them was the Foster Batman.
This kind of footage these people have and they don't use it. I was flabbergasted.
So you home watching that and thinking that?
I'm watching this and I'm taking this in and taking notes.
Wow.
And then United Sisters took part in the Trinidad and Tobago Song Festival and got into the finals of the Caribbean. And now I used to be an adjudicator. So I adjudicated when they won the local leg. And then the finals of the Caribbean Song Festival was also in Trinidad. And I was also one of the adjudicators. And they won. And then I was approached by one of the, who it is in TTT, I don't remember, but they said, we have to do a summary of the United Sisters. And I would like you to see if you could interview them individually and as a group too, and we're going to edit it and do it as a presentation. And I did that. And it came out pretty good. And that gave me the spark because I worked with O'Neill Davis was the person who did the filming. And we started to talk. And he said, you know, they're looking for some more local programming. This would, if we interview Calypsonians, that could make a good thing. And I said, let me give it some thought.
Well, salute to O'Neill. So at that time, TTT just calling you as a one-off, just for the United Sisters?
Just about one-off to do United Sisters. And then he said, put together a package. And we could do a pilot if necessary. And I wrote how I think it should be that we should run a half-an-hour program. And it was submitted. And they said, we ain't going to no pilot now.
We going.
Tell us who you want to do on the first show. And we go run it a night and see how the crowd react. And Croco had just won.
First time.
But trying to decide who it was, the song, they were having an independence Calypso competition at the time. And I said, whoever win, I'm going with them. And Croco won. It was almost a mistake.
Him winning?
No, using him as the first person on the show.
What?
Croco arrived 5 minutes before we had to go on the air. But somehow we did it. He just said, and you know, that's one of the things I pride about myself, that despite all of the tension and everything else, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Calypso Showcase. Like if nothing happened before. Nobody will ever think anything was wrong. I can tell you some personal experiences I had where a family member might have gone to the hospital and I had to take them and then rush back and just calmly say, like if, I'm the happiest man on earth. Good evening and welcome to Calypso Showcase.
You know, it's one of the things that I observed in looking at your interviews. Like if you start one and hear you say that, and then you just keep playing it over and over, like go to other ones when you say it, it is always you can't distinguish one from the next. You do it so accurately and so calmly every time. It's almost like you knew exactly what you're getting into.
Yeah, and it's nothing that I had to write down. It's just something I just felt that. I think one person told me that you're one of the few people when you come on TV, like you see the people at home, you know, like you speaking to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we want. And that's what a lot of people don't give us.
Right.
That interaction with feeling the people sitting down there watching TV.
But what made them come to you? Because you adjudicating at that point in time, why did it choose you to do United Sisters? Was it the way you talk or you had media training or?
No media training whatsoever.
In the right place.
In fact, how I ended up on television, that's a story in itself. John Bassotti and I was playing golf together. And John said, "You ever thought of going on TV?" I said, "To do what?" He said, "You're the man writing all these calypsos, judging people. You know everything about things. Come and do my semifinals now." I said, "The semifinals in San Fernando?" He said, "We need a color commentator, somebody who could talk about the artists, talk about their history." I said, "But I know that."
And John Bassotti is a TTT person or
production?
That's man?
He was the TTT person at the time.
Right.
So he said, "So you ready?" He said, "Saturday, semi-finals."
This is the week of he's telling you this?
1 week before. We playing golf on Saturday, and he tell me next week Saturday you're down in the South.
And you
how to dress, he said, "Look, just come as you are."
Wow.
Pass Friday, you'll get your pastor come in, and you go to, and that is it.
Mm-hmm.
They hand me a microphone, and they just tell me,
"Wow,
we'll have a main man, and you use the color commentator. You want comments after every Calypsonian."
What? Yeah. But at that time, you know the Calypsos and you know the Calypsonians well enough. You studied that.
I could go into the story of that, but when I adjudicated, I kept notes of every Calypsonian that I heard. Right. And I'm talking about hearing over 200 Calypsonians in a season.
Yeah.
Trinidad, Port of Spain, San Fernando, Arima, Tobago. Every single person. And I had comments on every song that they ever sang.
Right.
And apparently I did a good job.
Yeah, apparently.
Because I got a call later that evening saying, "What you doing tomorrow?" I said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" They said, "It's children's panorama tomorrow." And you could handle that? I said, "I could handle that." And I went and I did the children's panorama. And then they got the next call. They said, "Listen, here are the shows he'll be doing between now and Carnival." Every calypso, every pan.
Wow.
And that was 1985. The showcase didn't start in 1981. So by that time, I had already established myself as a color commentator for preliminaries, semifinal. Imagine you're doing semifinals a pan from 9 in the morning until about 2, 3 the next morning. And I never blinked. No, I'm telling you, I was one that could have depend on. That I ain't saying I tired, find somebody else to think. I would go through the whole thing. They would change people along the way, but I would do the whole thing.
Yeah, band after band.
But I had got it from Calypso days because when we're doing like unattached Calypsonians, we have 60 Calypsonians singing 2 songs each.
Right.
I never fall asleep.
Well, I wonder about people here and like when I look at it, everybody who I know did Skinner Park, for instance, I always ask them if because for me, after song about 10, I think I'll be hearing the same thing over and over. You alert and paying attention. You could hear the difference.
Because I am now to tell the audience, this fella did a good job.
Right.
I like the way he introduced the song. He played on this word. He developed that. And I like the way he rounded off the song. This is what the public want to hear.
So as the judge, you had to tell the audience your process? You used to tell them?
You have to.
Really?
Well, no, I'm talking as a color commentator. No.
Color commentator, got it.
As an adjudicator, that is what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, got it.
I'm
You're expressing it.
in
I understand.
that the audience now would appreciate why this guy will probably make it to the finals.
Oh, with you. Yeah. And you would have been the first person to do that. At the time, they didn't have somebody doing it?
They didn't have anybody doing color commentary like that.
Right, yeah.
The commentator who was doing the whole show would just say,
it's
fantastic, it was great. Yeah. I like that bad. And that
my kind of commentary. Layman.
But they were not breaking down the song.
Right.
And the singer's ability to render in a particular way and related to what the judges look for. So many points for this, so many points for that, and that sort of thing. But I had been doing that since 1980.
So how you got into that in the first place, into adjudicating?
Oh, that's another story.
Yeah.
I just got a call. Saying we're looking for some new judges to judge, and we have an opening to judge the children who sing, calypsos for the school competitions. Lennox Straker is the person who called me, deceased. And I went, to cut a long story short, they liked the way I handled myself, the way I was able to justify who I think should move forward and things like that. And Lennox said, I'll throw you in the big league from next year.
Yeah, one time.
1981. I was deciding who go into the semifinals and eventually to the big yard. And that was what you would call throwing you into the fire.
Yeah.
Because the five of us who visited every single tent twice in Trinidad and Tobago to come up with the top 24. They used to put the five of us in a room with Lennox Straker.
Right.
And at the end of whatever decisions we made, the 24 people had to be written on a paper. And the five of us signed it. And that was cast in stone.
Yeah, so one sheet. So everybody, 5 judges that agree.
5 judges have to agree that this was the top 24. And signed it.
I'm feeling like this could be a hostile 5 people, that must
Let me tell you something.
That can't be an easy room.
I learned curse words in that. Because people did not agree.
I can imagine.
To every decision. It's something that I treasure, that what we went through to come up with that 24, because the whole of Trinidad and Tobago is waiting to hear who is going to be in the semifinals.
Yeah.
And in fact, reporters used to be waiting outside our room for the 24. That's to tell you how bad it was.
Yeah.
Right?
And what?
And the first exercise I came with my notes. Because I had notes on every single calypsonian that I heard. So I come with my notes. And
so this is something you used to do all the time, or even before you're adjudicating?
I started with that. As a teacher,
right.
I used to teach math in schools. I had a way that I loved grading. So I had got my 24 that I liked by order from number 1.
Right.
Now, when we reached in the room, they had a head judge. And the head judge said, Alvin, as the new person here, we're going to put you the acid test to call your top 5. If your top 5 is on every judge's scorecard, you pass the acid test. I called my top 5, and they said, you pass with flying colors.
Yeah.
My top 5 was on everybody's thing. Now, here's the real problem in that room. The first 15.
You could agree.
Everybody agreed on the first 15. From the time you called the 16th person, one man said, nah, I don't have him. And that is the argument right there.
There's always no.
Why you don't have him? And that person have to tell us. He have to win us over. And after he talk, sometimes you know what happened? During the discussion now, if this person is strong, somebody else say, in hindsight, I don't have him either. So it dropped down to 3.
Yeah.
And then it dropped down to 2, and the person gone, you know.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And then after we reached 4, but that wasn't bad. It's the last 5 people that have to be selected. Where it gone down to 3, and in some cases 2.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not calling names. But there was a particular judge who wanted a particular person to be in the finals that I thought had no place even in the competition.
Mm-hmm.
But I found out later they were kind of related. And the person said to me, why don't you have him? I said, you have time? And I told up my notes. And I went through every aspect of his 2 calypsos.
Mm-hmm.
That the melodies are the same. That this is a hook line that everybody used in the old calypsos.
Mm-hmm.
And that the lyrical when I was finished, the other 3 people said, you still want him?
Even the justification is family.
No, that's the way you had to be. You had to know what you were talking about. And it was an education for me. And I became a permanent fixture. On the preliminaries is the hardest thing to judge.
Yeah, just to give people context, like people who watching now and see Calypso Monarch now, because what I learned doing this, right, is some people look at and listen with today's ears and eyes. So they think that number 1 is 2 songs, now is 1.
No.
So you got to listen to people 2 songs.
It's 2 songs.
Back then is many, many tents across Trinidad and Tobago. And then the bullpen on top of that. You had to do the unattached.
And the unattached was David Weather sang unattached the first year he went in Calypso.
Yeah.
And he was refused. People don't know that. He did not qualify.
Mm-hmm. You pay him out. You was only okay. Just check it. Just making sure.
Sometimes the bullpen was done by other people.
Right. I see.
Later on, we started to do it. But he actually was one of those people that sang unattached a year. Mm-hmm. And then the following year, he came to the 10th and he went straight to the finals.
Yeah.
But these are the things that people don't know. People like singing Sandra. All of them come through the bullpen sometimes. I remember when Tigress came to audition to try to get into what was in those days called the government tent.
Right.
From the time she sang, I watched Straker and Straker watch me. Straker come and say, what you have to tell me? I say, you watch me. I say, I ain't want to hear nothing more from that girl. You know. She go inside. And she go be in the finals this year.
Oh, serious? She's that good?
Yeah. And she won the prize that year for the most, but the best new artist in Calypso.
Oh, wow.
She was magnificent.
You could hear it from the go from Jamie Hill.
There were so many situations like that. Melanie Hudson, I will always be there for you. She was unattached.
Really?
From the time she started singing, I do so. But Straker and I had a kind of thing. When you look at me, okay, put you inside.
Yeah, good to go.
You know? And she ended up going and singing a tent. We found out afterward that song was written by David Weather.
Oh, really?
I will always be there for you.
Yeah,
But
Christine
from the time I said it is one of the greatest melodies and that I had heard.
Yeah.
And today that song is still standing up.
The president used it at her inauguration, Christine Kangaloo. Yeah, she played that. That was one of her 2 songs. I want to say one was a merchant song. I have plenty to talk to you about.
Oh, God, merchant and I.
Wait, a good place to pause. I had to step back again because plenty of the things you're saying.
No problem.
I keep on going back because some of these things feel like, some people get jobs, they apply, they go on the thing, they do on the training, and you're just saying people calling you out to the blues. So how people know that you so into Calypso at that point in time? What was it?
Because I think the adjudication established a picture of me. Because when a Calypsonian comes to sing, to try to get into a tent, because I also used to help the tent managers pick their artists. For some reason, they heard that I used to compose. Remember, I started composing in 1971.
Also, long before then, long before you getting into adjudication and stuff.
People started to hear that Alvin Daniell was involved in the song. And then when Pan playing, you'd see lyrics by Alvin Daniell on the banner.
Right.
Who's this damn Alvin Daniell?
Yeah.
You know? Well, the first song that I composed was Pan on the Move with Ray Holman.
Yeah.
Plenty people didn't know who I was. They just knew it's Ray Holman's song. You know? But and then I worked with Boogsie. And 8 years I worked with Boogsie before people even know who I was.
So you musically trained or something? How you get into these people? I'm trying to figure out what you training. This man training nothing. No, you just do it. How that come about? You're just saying Ray Holman and Boogsie like if these people are passing tongue.
This one will blow your mind. When I was about 7 years old, my father had a box. My father is a master electrician. That's the first thing I should tell you.
Right.
He built his own record player. He buy his speakers, he wire it up, he get a turntable, and we're talking about the 1940s, where to play a 78 record that had one tune on it, you had to lift the arm and rest it on the record with a steel needle that had to be changed as soon as it played that one tune. So you had to have a box of needles, which I used to go and buy for my father. Otherwise you can't play a tune. I went through the transition of the 78 to the 45 and then the 33 and a third RPM. But even before the transition, I used to listen because my father had a collection of calypsos by the old bards, talking about Roaring Lion and Tiger and these people. And one day, I was singing one of the songs I heard. I'm hungry for something, not for lobsters, not for wine, but that sentimental sandwich that is yours and mine. Well, I get the finest cutters from my father when he heard me singing it. But I did not know that was a vulgar song.
No, yeah, no.
How the hell I gonna know that the sentimental sandwich is my vagina? So I realized anytime you're listening to Calypso, don't let nobody hear what you hear.
Yeah, listen good.
Then we used to go to Richmond Street Boys School. And when you're walking down Park Street, Sagums playing all the rude calypsos for you to hear, to come in and buy.
Right.
And we learning them by heart. So I love my calypso. Really.
Gotcha.
I take a little jump. I went through it, over and over, different aspects of it. But at University of the West Indies, when I first went in, I found out they had a calypso competition. So I said, Alvin, you had to compose something. I never composed a calypso before in my life. I composed my first calypso. They have a thing in UWI they call Grub Week, where the new come in, they make you do all kind of things. So I wrote a calypso about being a grub.
Right.
And I made the finals. I ran third. And I wasn't satisfied.
So you compose and sing?
Compose my own song and sing it myself.
Yes.
The next year, I said I had to win this thing. Christmas time, Milner Hall, which I used to attend, I used to live there. Half of the people that lived there were women and half were men. North Block, West Block, and they had the ladies' block. Canada Hall was all men. But they have like 300 and something students, and we only have about 40 something. We used to have football match every year and all kinds of things. But Christmas time now, they had their Christmas dinner. And like men, they may even have a decoration. But for our own now, Mill now hold on. When they come in to eat breakfast in the morning, they see Christmas tree going up, streamers going across the room and thing.
Yeah, the ladies doing
They're
work.
jealous. They're jealous. When we come in the night, we Christmas tree gone. Canada Holman come and move with Christmas tree. So me and my boys, let me get research and find out who is responsible for this.
Right.
And we find out the main man was a fellow named Stanley Reed.
Mm-hmm.
He said, all right. We went and we arrest him.
Yeah.
And we bring him up to West Block. And we put him to sit down in a chair and we tie him up. And we decorate his tail. Put all kind of things all over him. And we start to sing. Ho, 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 and we all think. So I say, but this is a good idea for us song. So I hit them, all because of jealousy. They stole our Christmas tree. But when all was said and done, we still get a better one. We hold a boy named Stanley Reed of big, fat, and ugly breed. I didn't put that in my book, though. Tie him to a chair, you see, and made him our Christmas tree. It was a ho, 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 and a he, he, he. You should have seen our Christmas tree. It was looking lovely. I mash up the place.
So,
you know who was one of the judges? The mighty Sparrow.
I see.
I won the crown with Sparrow being actually judge.
Wow.
I sang for 4 years. I never run outside the top 3, but that's the only year I won.
Mm-hmm.
The following year, oh gosh, one of my good partners just died. What's his name again? Oh gosh. But I remember. That's how it is at this age.
Yeah.
When you try to remember, you don't remember.
Yeah, it's our
and
age.
then they just come.
That's in mind. At our age, we forget these things, right?
David Bartholomew was one of the guys who used to sing Calypso.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the guy who just passed away, which is a good friend of mine.
Right.
I remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue as always. But he sang a Calypso the next year, which all of us learned to sing because it was it's a song that could have won the Dimash Grammy. I'm telling you that.
Wow.
It was about the fact that they were building a new block at UWI and a science block.
Mm-hmm.
And Wimpy was the contractor that they chose. And I always remember the first line, Wimpy have the science. They naturally know the art. And it's an arts and science building. That line was just telling the whole Calypso right there. You know, and it was a song in praise of the workmanship of a company like Wimpy. But a beautiful melody, well structured. And he put that over. And we just agree. He won the competition.
Yeah, know that.
And then David won the final year. David had a nice song about living on campus, you know, that was like a family affair with all of us. And we used to sing these songs afterward together as a group. We kept together. Christmas time, I used to play the quattro and we'd go around from
Should I bring a quattro?
house and thing and have a little fun, you know? So that aspect of the art form grew from that love of, you know, singing the calypsos. And people knew me from just going from house to house kind of thing. And I don't know who mentioned it, but I got this call from Straker out of the blue that we're looking for a new judge.
Right.
And if I'm interested. And I said, okay.
Gotcha.
And that's where it started. And then 1985, Basotti came and said, we're looking for a color commentator. And then 1991, Calypso Showcase.
It's born.
And you know what was significant about 91 going into 90? Now, this was 94 going into 95. Otti Mires called me. And he said, Alvin, why are you not a member of COT? I said, COT? What is COT? He said, the Copyright Organization of Trinidad and Tobago. I said, should I be? He said, don't you write songs? I said, well, mostly lyrics. I do a couple melodies, but mostly lyrics. He said, both the lyrics and the melodies part of the song.
Right.
and you never get $1 for any of your songs. I said, no. He said, well, you playing the fool. So he told me what to do. And I got proof that I had written songs with Ray Holman, with Boogsie, and some other people and so on. I got a list of all the songs that I had been part of. One or two that did the melodies as well. Registered at COT. And I was accepted as a member.
Yes.
Right after that membership, I was invited to be... They had a vote to select the directors for the next 3 years. And I was submitted. My name was submitted as one. And when the voting came through, I made it.
Oh, yes.
And at the first meeting, well, again, I don't want this, but because I want to vilify the person. But when the 9 of us sat down, they say, how we just choose the managing director, the director of COT, the chairman. Silent vote. You have to write the name on a piece of paper who you think.
Right.
So each person had to say what their history was and so on. And there was one guy who was saying, we're wasting time here, because I was the last vice chairman.
Right.
And it should be fairly automatic that I become the chairman. So somebody said, no, it don't work so. We have to do the voting.
The process.
We did the voting. And when they turned over the paper, 8 was for one person and 1 was for another person. I got the 8 votes.
And the man voted for himself.
He actually resigned after.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, he got very upset because on top of that, I found out that he was using the company's vehicle for his wife to use to go to work.
Oh, yeah, there's problems. Yeah.
And I told him he has to get
you have to address that.
I told him, no, you have to get her to return the vehicle. And he got very annoyed and he resigned. There are a lot of different things I had to do because when I became the chairman of COT, they were in the red. And no society in the world was in relationship with us. In fact, the one from United States, RS, what do you call them? Recording RS, something PRS, Performing Rights Society.
Right.
The woman who was in charge of it, Diana Derrick, I had to call her and tell her, I am going to be in charge now.
Right.
And I need your support. And she said, if you're in charge, I will put back the reciprocal agreement between PRS and Trinidad.
Right.
That year, we were able to reverse from a negative position to one of the highest payouts they ever had in COT to that date.
Yeah, I suppose England would be an important market for Calypso at this time, out there.
Because they were collecting all our international.
Right.
The following year, here is, I got selected to go to Paris, France, and represent Trinidad and Tobago in the World Copyright Convention. And on the way back, I stopped at PRS. And I found out that there's a thing called non-identified songs. So I asked them if I could look at the database and see if I see any bongs from Trinidad. I came back to Trinidad with £10,000
Wow.
of money that they had holding for us in there, which when you hold that there for 3 years, it remained in PRS.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God.
So that 10 might be just a fraction of what was there. Because the time passed.
It's what I found.
Got you.
They could have had more.
Of course.
But I was able to identify that. They calculated and they said, we have a... But they take out their commission out it.
Of course.
And they wrote a check to COT for £10,000.
Yeah, so you could remit to some Calypso.
When they came
they would have never known.
And in those days, it was like about 4-1.
Yeah.
So that went into the payout. And that year, I reintroduced a thing they had stopped doing, which was there were many Calypsonians who would sing in a little cubby hole somewhere, and they got no money at the end of the year. And we set up a thing called the unidentifiable income. And it meant about 75% of our Calypsonians got a $400 for Christmas. Boy, those fellas.
Yeah, they must have been grateful.
But in that days, that was like gold.
Yeah, of course.
To know I have $400 you have for Christmas to spend and buy a turkey, a ham, and whatnot. Right? And stop just 10 or 12 people getting all the money.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, has started happening again.
Well, I hear now lots of the people who I have on from producers, Calypsonian, Soca artists, hearing them making that same complaint.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like when I tell people I come in to interview you, I heard two things over and over from people all over. One was, that man no real Kaiso. They say that man no plenty lyrics at Kaiso. And the second thing was also, people said, you wasn't just interviewing Calypsonians, you was dedicated to it and helping a lot of them. So this tells some of that story.
Yeah. I said every Calypsonian have to get something for Christmas. But I could tell you it was a fight down in many things when I tried to institute certain things. I'll give an example now, one now. There was a time they said, to increase income, let us charge the guys who play in radio stations in their cars, the taxi drivers. I said, no way.
Rough.
One of them went on the air and said, we are planning to do this. And everybody saw it as something that came from me.
Of course.
And in fact, I remember a taxi driver in St. James stopped and he said, Alvin, this one go pull you down, you know. I said, what? He said, charging me. I said, I am not in favor of that. And I went back in court and I said, I am resigning because you all are making me look bad.
Yeah.
I will not be party to this. It was 8-1, you know.
Wow.
I said, you cannot charge taxi drivers for things. And that is when I decided to come out of court. I said, this is going to malign my reputation. And that means too much to me. And I came out of court. I went back as once or twice they asked me if I just come on the board and help them out.
Right.
I said, but I'm not taking the top position anymore because I don't want my name maligned.
Right.
I will help you all in any way. But don't put me back at the top because, and is that certain incidents that happen even with the pan world, things that I did and got threatened for certain things that they felt that I was doing and so on. And I suppose that's part of that comes with the territory in terms of once you got into that kind of a world. Because many people ask me to get into politics. I say, well, I draw the line. I ain't going into politics.
No,
I said I draw the line on that one because I feel my integrity will be questioned considerably if I agree to go to a particular party.
Yeah, especially when people know you for something and delivering at a high standard.
When UNC came out and I was the head of CUT, I used to sit down with Kamala when she had her interviews, and I actually did the rewriting of the Copyright Act that was passed in Parliament alongside with Oti Mirez and one other girl, what's her name now? We three of us sit down and rewrote the whole competition. I went and sat down in Parliament when they went through all of it, and it was passed with flying colors, not one argument. Both the opposition and the ruling party passed it that same day. Only one visit to the Parliament.
And that was that.
And that was it.
You might need you back now. You might have to do some international relations.
No. I'm not interested in politics at all.
Yeah.
Because I see how it has changed people. And I could give you examples, but I ain't going there.
Yeah. No, your earliest career, like you said you were teaching. What were you teaching and where was your training?
I loved teaching from a child. And I would look at certain teachers that I admired. You know, there was a teacher I had that taught Latin. I liked him. One that taught French. He was great. But maths was my thing.
Yeah.
And I loved a good maths teacher. I had one that wasn't so good, but Andrew G.J. Camacho, who taught us in sixth form, he was the best. Who wrote the books that we used to use in QRC. I admired him as a teacher. And I wanted, teaching, in fact, is strange. In sixth form, there was a time where somebody came and was talking to us about when you leave school, what you would want to be. And you should start thinking along those lines. And people were putting down doctors, lawyers, and so on. And I put, I would like to be a university professor.
Oh.
And believe it, that's what I am.
That's what you didn't know.
Yeah. At age 19, I wrote, I would like to be a university professor. And the first job I got, because I think you could apply at that time for different jobs in civil service or something, I applied. But somebody said they're opening new schools and they're looking for maths teachers.
Right.
So I told them I'm interested in that. And I got my first job as a maths teacher at Samaroo Secondary on the little hill there.
Right.
And that's where I started to teach maths. The first teaching assignment, because I was the only maths teacher, was to teach maths from first form to the highest form.
All the way through.
I virtually taught, I had no free periods. 36 hours of teaching every week. And after that, I was transferred to St. James, to Woodbrook Secondary.
Right, okay.
But then they said they needed a maths teacher in St. James Secondary, and I got a message to go to St. James Secondary. I met my wife there.
I see.
That was my wife until she passed away. We spent 48 years together.
Oh, wow. That you don't hear much again either. 48 years, wow.
Before she died. We would have still been together if she was alive. I no doubt about that.
Yeah.
So maths was my thing. And I started off as a maths teacher.
Right.
And I taught a lot of that. When I went to UWI and I graduated, I then decided to go into the world of engineering.
Also, you went into Eng.
Yeah, I did a BSc in mechanical engineering.
Okay.
And I started to work at WASA. I didn't like it there. Left after 6 months. And then I took a job with a small air conditioning company, Thermo Engineering Limited.
Right.
That was the first place I worked in air conditioning. And I was telling you the story about O'Neill, where
Yes.
I say I want to learn some of the practicals. So I went to this guy. I say, when you're going out on one of your troubleshooting jobs, go with me now. Let me come with you now. You say, yeah. Look, my toolkit there. So I pick it up. I want to pick it up.
Yeah, coming here to work, yeah.
So when you go to do the job, you say, bring me a crescent wrench for me. Now me, I didn't know the hell is a crescent wrench. I'm going to pick up about 4 different things and come back. You say, and you have a degree, eh? And you're working for more money than me. And you don't know how much is a crescent wrench. All right. So you do so now. You walk back and press it, put your hand on it. Then he go in, so I put my hand on it, so I pull back as we quite hot. And he go in and he holds something here and he holds something and I doing everything he do. He said, all right, the short of gas.
Yeah.
And then he charge him and start up the system. So I said, why? How you come to the conclusion? He said, that is not your business. So right there and then I realized he could have fixed that in, like you say, in 5 minutes, but he make sure he speak our hour.
Of course.
So he could charge for that.
Yeah, you're right. Charge for your
So when
expertise.
you know what you're doing,
You're not guessing.
at a glance you could tell he know what to touch. And he could tell you what was wrong.
Yeah.
And he was that kind of person. To win him over, I had to line with him, play cards with him, drink a little rum with him. And eventually he would share.
Right.
And well, that's my boys. All them became my boys. I'll tell you a little, I don't know if you know this story. One of the first jobs I got, now you wouldn't know it because that was before your time. But one of the first jobs that Carl Sipol, the owner of Thermo Engineering, gave me, we just got the job to install 6 15-ton split systems in the convention center. That just released the convention center to government. He said, all right, Mr. Young Engineer, I'll give you that job. Don't ask me nothing. Just get it done. I said, what about the equipment? He said, I'm flying it in. I'll tell you when it's here.
Yeah.
Your job, install the units, run the piping, install the ductwork. Whatever men you need, go and talk to the men and work your team.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and I looked at the job, I sized it up and so on. I get to meet, who was Canute Spencer was the main man on the job. He say, little bitch, come here, you're going to see your engineer now. So I do so, and I get my document, man. We went and we run out the ductwork, long time. But I'm waiting on my units. Kelsey Paul called me. He said, your units landing at Piaco and will be down here in a short while. But I want to see if I could get it straight to the job site for you. Right? And you know where they're going? I say, yeah, the condensing is going on some portico on the outside and the air handler's going on the inside. So I don't have everything set up.
Yeah,
Say, you have everything set up? What lifting the units? I say, I had to call for a crane. He said, what you watching me for? You do everything. So I call a crane man and tell the man, we had to lift up about 25 feet. And the man said, no problem. Friday afternoon, we're going to lift the units in position. And Canute Spencer watching me. I am closing those things up on Monday morning. So make sure you get my units in position.
Yeah, the weekend.
So I gone down. Crane man arrived. When he reached, he was about a foot short. Because 25 feet so is not 25 feet so. And man bring a little smaller crane and can't get the thing because now for 25 feet, I learned that the hard way.
Right.
You need to come here.
Right.
And measure the angle to the boom to there. So he needed almost 100 foot of boom to take something that 25 feet off the ground. To be able to lift it and drop it in position. The man ain't have enough boom. I say, you have any other crane? He say, yes. I say, well, we come and do it Saturday morning. He says, Saturday, I do work on weekends.
Oh, my God.
I said, but I had to call another crane. I called Sipol, said, I tell you, don't call me. Just solve the problem. I said, what the hell is this? Well, that's the first time I learned engineers solve problems.
Right, yeah.
I say, Caranage, I go and buy a bar. I start looking for 6 strong men. $100 and a bottle of rum.
Yeah.
We had to lift it up of some flight of stairs.
I'll get it done.
And that's what we did. We lift up every condensing unit through the inside of the building. And then I had one of those lift cranes. We lift that up and slide it in position. And we do that 6 times. Finish nearly 2 o'clock in the morning. I drink rum with them till I get drunk. Because I say, I don't know how I do it, but I do it. The handlers was chicken feed.
Yeah.
Monday morning, Canute Spencer come to me. How do you ask you get those things up there? I want to know. Because I know your crane couldn't do it. And you ain't have no crane over the weekend. How did you get that there? I said, well, I hire a helicopter and they drop it in from above. He said, little bitch. You know, I never tell him how I do it.
But the man said, don't call him, you're right.
He died not knowing. And as a young engineer, I said, I'm not telling him. I said, that is my secret.
Yeah.
And from there on, I learned, when you solve something, you have things you keep to yourself and you have things you tell others. I will teach the people below me, especially.
Right.
But you see people who fight in your down?
Yeah. That make me the people you want to help.
Then you're not going to know my secrets.
But your engineering story tells it answering plenty of questions for me, to be honest, because I saw what you're doing as you brought up Calypso Showcase and getting into that in 90. That's a work in engineering and problem solving too, because it seems as though it couldn't be easy. I remember the first time we spoke, and I have to tell people as well that you've taken a lot of time. This is not the first time we're talking.
Right.
I usually call you before interviews. I had Pelham, and I call you before, because your interview with Pelham is a piece of mastery we could talk about. And you can't wing what 2 of y'all did there, or you did in particular. You have to know that. You have to live that to do that. And you would always give me advice and tell me, you know, what, we're having problems with this. And almost every question you asked me, I was like, well, yeah, that's the challenge. This is, and you're going through it. So I understood from looking at you, even before we spoke, that you going through a piece of work. I want to talk about some of the episodes you did, like Spoiler, Melody, I think Maestro as well, where, as you said, they were dedication sort of episodes that fit within a structure that you were doing before. Again, something I took pattern from. So now, any Calypsonian that passed away, the last one was funny. I did just what you did. I went back, listened to the songs, watch your interviews, go back, you know, put pieces together.
Yeah, people
and play
who
these songs.
had passed on was a challenge. And it meant I had to search and research, read books about them that other people who had met them. I never met Spoiler in person. But by the time I had spoken to people like, you know, people who interacted with him, and they tell me, oh, he had long fingers and he loved to gesticulate. I found out through the regeneration now that Spoiler's mother was alive.
Oh, really?
Yes. And I went and met her mother and talked with her. And she told me about aspects of Spoiler that other people didn't know. She said, you know, he used to drink a lot. I said, I heard so. She said, well, I am telling you. In fact, he used to drink so much that one day he came by me and he wanted a soup. And I took a bowl, the soup bowl he liked to drink from, and I filled it with rum. And I put it in front of him. And she said he hit it a lash and broke it up because I was insulting him. But I wanted to tell him, you love rum so much. What you asking for soup for? You understand?
Oh.
And she gave me the very picture that Eddie Grant used on the CD that he produced.
See.
That was the picture of Spoiler that she gave me.
Wow.
And then she showed me a picture of him and the woman he was married to. She said, do you know the day he was married, 3 women came to the wedding and said, it's me he should have been marrying because he's my man. You hear what I'm telling you? She gave me these stories. And nobody knew all those things. And the other thing I made an effort to do, when they told me that he buried in La Perouse, but nobody knows which grave, I went.
I saw.
And spoke to the guy. I told him the year he died. And we searched until he said, I found the grave. And that's why I went on a point.
I saw.
I said, this is the grave where Spoiler was. People didn't even know that. And I arranged for his mother to also come on Alice's morning show.
Right.
The cab picked her up at home, brought her to TTT, and she went on Alice's show.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of thing it helped me to understand the human being Spoiler.
Sure.
And then when I started to go through the lyrics of his songs now, I began to understand there was frustration in some of his lyrics. I meet a man on Juve, what do you call it? For Christmas, a police in our short pants come to yeah. This was a man that was frustrated, who was upset about his life. And his career was about only 14 years.
Yeah.
You know, it's something to think about that he could produce such deep messages in a short space of time.
He produced a lot in the 14 years. And
we didn't even get all his material.
I wouldn't doubt.
A lot of it was not recorded.
Well, you said so.
Bill Trotman, new songs by him that were not on record because Bill Trotman was very close to him.
I see.
And Bill Trotman told me he never recorded a vulgar song, but he sang a lot.
I didn't say that. He used to keep it clean on the recording.
And he said white people in Trinidad used to hire him to come and sing the vulgar songs.
I see.
So we missed out on a lot.
Yeah, I could imagine. That's one of the things.
That became the in thing now in singing Calypso, that you had to have a double meaning in every song you sing. You know?
Yeah. But that episode in particular stood out, and that's why I say, in terms of me just following you, something it said in that episode, and it was about Bomber.
Yeah.
That Bomber song is the first Calypso I ever learned to sing.
Right.
So the end of the song, you pointed it out on the grave. He say, sing about the people who collect money, and they say they're going to bring a ice tune for me.
Yeah.
And I used to sing for them like a slave. They wouldn't even put a cock
Set on top my grave.
And so said, so then you point out it, and he do it and he pointed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stark for what Spoiler had done. And it's one of the things that stood out to those, it was the same with the Maestro episode, the depth that you're going to. A lot of people ask me now, how long is it taking to do research in those things? And I tell them, you cannot quantify that.
Yeah,
and I saw that.
Start researching almost from the time you're born, because every song you hear that sticks in your head is part of the whole thing. I was telling you, for example, about the song I sang as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I went searching to find out who was the calypsonian that actually sung it.
Right.
And you know what I discovered with that song?
Mm-hmm.
This song was sung by Dorothy Lamour in a movie in the United States in the late 60s. And that the person credited with writing it, his name was there. Right. I don't recall at this time.
Yeah.
And I am confident that they stole this song from a Trinidadian.
Mm-hmm.
But you see, this was the practice. There were people who would come from the United States, listen to Calypso's songs, very much like what happened with rum and Coca-Cola.
Of course.
Right? Where Maury Amsterdam, who was working at the base at the time, heard the song and took it and gave it to the Andrew sisters. That sell over 1 million records in that days.
Yeah.
But how the hell could somebody be talking about Frederick Street and, certain parts of Trinidad?
Impossible.
In the United States.
Yeah.
It was obvious that this had to be written by a Trinidadian.
It came up in the episode with Melody as well, that dedication episode where Sparrow was able, a song, I never heard that song that Sparrow sang about Melody and Belafonte.
Yeah.
I listening to that at the time, I'm listening to it, it's kind of like in hindsight, same thing I was saying earlier, listening back to that, and it sounded almost as if Melody and Belafonte had a great relationship and, everybody make money and everybody eat, but it didn't sound like that was the case in the end, based on what
it wasn't the case, but it was, and I have this on record,
right,
that when he met Belafonte
right,
and accosted him, Belafonte acknowledged that the writer of these songs had to be a genius, and they became good friends.
Okay, so it was after, I see.
I can. If you look at the work that we did on Calypso Dreams, you ever saw the whole of that?
No, I never saw the whole thing. I saw clips.
Look at the whole thing, and you'll see where we have a clip with Melody acknowledging when he met Belafonte, what it was like.
Right.
And that should clarify what I'm saying. That it was not enemy type of thing. It was an acknowledgement that you are great and I like the way you put over my songs eventually.
Right.
So that is something too that should be used as a clarification.
Understood.
Yeah.
And I wonder about royalties and those things. If you'd have, if it's
I think he was credited.
Okay.
And he was, in fact, compensated because I think he also did other songs for him after. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So maybe before I get into some of the other episodes, we could talk about that episode with Pelham, because Pelham at the time had arranged, I believe it was Kitchener's Guitar Pan.
Yeah.
And the detail that you went into breaking up the song into all the different pieces as an arranger, where you got that knowledge in terms of musical construction for part?
This is special. I first had an interest and a love for music. I don't think I'm the best singer. I mean, I think I have a good understanding of what is good pitch and so on, but I do think that I was blessed with a voice like a baron, or, I could phrase a song for you, because many times when I worked in the studio with artists, I would sing what I want them to sing, but I would give them the phrasing more than anything else. They could still sing back for me what I had to sing better than me. Well, working with Denise Plummer, for example, is a pleasure.
Singer.
Because when you tell her what you want and you lay it out, she would then
Execute.
make you feel like I'm hearing it for the first time. She really would master it, make it hers. What's his name? Douglas. What was his first name again?
Handsome Douglas.
Anselm Douglas was like that too. I remember when we did one of the songs written by myself and what's his name from Silver Stars. He said, Alvin, what is this? I have to sing practice 14 times? How do you do that?
Yeah.
I said, well, I could do it. Practice, 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 practicing. He said, Jesus, how do I count it? I said, you don't count it. You feel it. Right? And the point I was making is that for panmen to be able to be so proficient on stage, it meant, and it's something I witnessed and I felt. They would play the same line over a half an hour. Da 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 da. And I wanted to bring this out in the song because when Edwin Pushet gave me the song, I noticed this repeated thing. I said, how do I write lyrics to that?
I see.
Maybe I just leave it as an instrumental.
Or repeated phrasing in the melody, I mean.
And then something just hit me. Practice, 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 practice. And then there was a 3-note, practicing. I said, I'm going with that.
Right.
And the late guru of music and who used to have the best vocal group in Trinidad, what's her name? She said, Alvin, that word you use in that song, practice.
That's Pat Bishop?
Pat Bishop. She said, that was so perfect what you did there, because that is the essence of what makes our band, what we hear at Panorama. Practice, practice, over and over. And it's something I emphasize with my choir, with all of the people that I work with. She said, well done. That was the endorsement I got from her.
Yeah, the original drill
Back
master.
to me now. I decided I want to do some form of music. I don't know what it was. When my mother died, I was 11 at the time, my father moved us from where I was born and grew up, which is East Rye River, Martino Lane, Calvary Hill. And we went to Woodbrook, Hunter Street in Woodbrook. 4 houses from Ray Holman. You understand? If I tell you some people that born and grew up in Hunter Street, you'd want to know that that's the longest street in Woodbrook. No, there's the powerful people who still live on that street.
Yeah.
Mass makers. The daughter of Starliff had the whole panyard there. There was a piano in my home. And I went to play the piano. And I should by now tell you that my father loved to beat. And he saw me on the piano. And he pulled me aside, dropped 2 on me and said, don't touch that piano. Who did you ask? And don't let me catch your hands on it again. So I just keep quiet. My aunt, who was in the same home and had her children, she brought in a person to teach them to play the piano. They did not like it. They did not want it. And I used to just be listening. And one day when the elderlies were not present, I decided I'm going to try out the piano and play some of the things I was hearing. And my cousin heard me. And they came out and they watched. And when my father came home, he said he was playing the piano today. Molix.
You get a reminder.
Molix. I will break your hand if you touch that piano again.
Wow.
Then Starliff come and set up their panyard right opposite us. And I listening. Then I go to QRC and I find out they have a lot of QRC boys playing in the band. So I started going by the band and listening and watching. And then one day, they were playing I Feel Pretty. I Feel Pretty. I said, what? Look how nice that song is, the band boy. So I went to a guy, I said, what is the easiest instrument to play in this band? First the bass. You have to do nothing, you just fall in note. So I went on the bass and started to learn to play I Feel Pretty. Boom, 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 boom. Then my father walked in the yard and literally dragged me out of the yard and cutting my tail on the way to opposite. My house is right opposite Starliff Yard. He said, this time I'll break every bone in your body if I catch you in a panyard of any kind. And I remember telling Ray Holman this. One thing he couldn't stop. Listening. And one of the first things I heard was Ray Holman arranging the bull.
Oh.
And I would listen and I'd say, I think that's the bull by Kitchener, but what he playing there? Like he gone off on a tangent or something. Then the next night I hear some other part. I said, let's get a jam session of some sort, but is that related to the tune? And then one day, I used to talk to some of the guys and they said, Ray putting the whole tune together tonight. Well, I ain't sleeping. I ain't not in my bed, but I'm listening. And for the first time, I hear the verse, and I hear the chorus, and I hear where he went from there. And that's when the birth of my understanding how a panorama arrangement could flow from one way to another, and how at the end they could come back to the verse and chorus, and then a magical ending. But one of the things that he used to do, he never gave them the ending until they're in the drag.
It's Ray.
Yeah, Ray. So I said, but the song had no ending. And then our guy told me, we get in the ending on the drag. Well, you know.
You find yourself.
Although my father don't want me in the savannah, I going to hear the ending.
Yeah.
And that's when I learned about the drag. How important it was for a steel band. That when they assemble that day and they start to run through the tune at different speeds, and then the arranger teach them the ending on the drag.
That's
you could
crazy.
believe that?
That's crazy.
And those men would go on stage now and put that down like if they've been playing it forever. That year, he won with the bull. But that was my lesson of how a panorama piece was structured. So when the first time TTT asked me to do the children's panorama, I started to describe what the arrangers were doing. And they say, boy, people ring us and say they like how you were explaining things to us. You're doing the big bands from next week.
This is a theme. This is a running theme now.
Yeah, you're doing big bands from next week.
Yeah.
And that's what I used to do. My little color commentary was to say at the end, oh, they had a nice introduction. They used the fourth line of the chorus there. And they developed that. And then they do a little changeover into the first plane. When they played the first time, they repeated the first verse. And then they went into the chorus where they played once. And then they did a jam session behind it. And start down the line. And then other people started to hear me and do the same thing. But I am telling you, as far as I know, I was one of the first people to break it down like that.
Yeah.
Right? And I mastered it because I would listen back to what I said a lot. And I would say, Alvin, you could have said more there about that. Or you could have said less about that because you was actually making the arranger look bad when you say that. So do that because the man could drop a hammer on you. You know? So I realized, keep it positive. Right? No, seriously, because once or twice I get a call.
I could imagine. Yeah, panorama is serious matters.
I getting everybody all the information. You didn't say nothing about my band. I say, oh God, they tell me I had to go to a break, and then they tell me the next band until start to talk about the next band. I had a little piece in my ears, and that's what they tell me. I had it right down what I'm gonna. Fellas, I want to hear now what you was going to say. You better tell me.
Yeah, no bluff. No bluff it.
Xander. Xander was doing a band from South, and they were playing a song by a guy who used to sing high-pitched soca. I can't remember his name, I was fun, but he used to sing this at a very, the falsetto,
Right.
but high, but it worked for him. And he used to sing kind of repeated kind of a way. And his songs was doing well. Sander out of the blue decided playing that for Panorama.
Right.
But this was small band category. So when they played, I made a mention that this band failed to capture the singer's rendition. And it affected the mark that they got. Xander called me one time. He said, Alvin, I have a whole band of players here, they want to kill you for what you say. I said, but what I tell you was the truth.
Correct.
He said, what do you mean? I said, why didn't get the guy to reverse the sticks and play
falsetto,
some high notes on the pan? He said, I have a point there, So then a couple of days later, they're going in now to the finals.
Right.
He called me. He said, come and hear the band before you talk on TV. He said, come and hear the band. And I remember when I was approaching, they were in a little corner in the savannah. And I hear the thing from a distance. I said, geez, and the band of it. When I went, all the players, ding, 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 and they're going up in the air. I tell them, I say, you just win it. They just win small bands. And it's so said, so done.
Yeah.
They won it easily because of the way they interpreted the singer. And it is one of the things that I felt there was not what I would call a category in your adjudication, which I would call thematic.
Right.
And yet it was probably what caused the band to win a Panorama. Let me say, okay, you're playing Kitchener's Hurricane or Earthquake. Let's say Pan Earthquake, right? Doesn't the band simulate an earthquake? How do you grade that? What category do you grade the fact that the band actually sounded like they presented an earthquake through their performance? That is thematic. They was taking the theme of the composition and carrying it on the pan.
Yeah.
When you talk about pans coming down the dry river, ping, pang, patang, and Jit Samaroo actually give the pens little things to hit, ting, ting, ta-tang.
No joke.
It was thematic.
Yeah.
Right? Sailing. I went and asked Clive Bradley, how you get that water to sound at the intro of the tune? He say, when you go home, play this on your keyboard. Over and over, and you hear water flowing. This is what I tried when I did my commentary to let the listening public know. I discovered afterwards, many men used to tell me, while we are coming up, we have a radio listening to what you were saying.
The bands themselves.
I
understand.
I remember I did a commentary in San Fernando, and we were making the comment, these bands have a big wooden background, and they're getting a double song coming out. And if they come forward a little bit, there'd be a better clear. Junior Regello came and told me afterward, thanks for helping out to win part. Because that's exactly what we did. We come right to the edge of the stage, the front of the stage, and played.
Right.
Because to avoid what you were saying was a problem.
Of course.
We heard what you said.
Yeah.
And we benefited from that. I say these things to say that, I paid a lot of attention to researching, talking to panmen, talking to calypsonians. I mean, a lot of times when I did interviews, it was because I was there when they sang. Because I started visiting the tents from as soon as I was allowed to. And fortunately, my wife, Diane, she loved it more than me.
Oh, she in it too? She going?
She's 9 months pregnant, and she is there with me, as he could testify. She want to hear her calypso. And she's telling me straight off, don't leave him out, She don't pick her 24 before.
I see. She doing adjudicator too.
She doing adjudication too. She was the 56th adjudicator. And tell him, I said, nah, he ain't gonna make it. She said,
She don't pick
Baron
yours.
was a boy.
Yeah.
You know, she was a Baron fanatic.
Yeah, your interviews with Baron were something else too, you know.
And she had her favorites. And she would, and sometimes if she like a Calypsonian, she alone could bring him back. She's the only person clapping in the audience, but the way she would get on, the man get up all back.
Yeah, uncle.
No, we had some really good times in the culture in terms of between the Calypso and the pan. It was something that I loved. And Calypso Showcase allowed me now to put all of the knowledge I had as an adjudicator, as a co-composer, and as a pan lover.
Yeah, as an engineer too.
Because I did not restrict Calypso Showcase to only Calypsonians.
No.
Because that was the intent at the beginning.
I see.
But I then said we have to bring the pan arrangers.
Right.
And then we have to actually visit the pan tents while they're playing and let people get a taste of what they're coming with.
Yeah.
And I think that worked well too. And then sometimes, I think 1 or 2 shows we did, winners of past arrange.
Right.
Oh, the people used to call, how you leave out solo?
Of course.
Yeah, playing songs. I said, we don't have the footage.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
It was a challenge. It was a
Of
challenge.
course.
I mean, I had to dig in the library to find certain things and stumble on some things that Dave Elcock did. That was magical too. That footage where he used to bring people into the show, into the rooms and let them sing their calypsos.
Right, yeah, you
and
could use some of
sometimes
those.
have 2 little dancing girls and things. I used those footages because it was important to show people how the early performances were like.
Yeah, it's something that I benefit from now because, again, I could look at it. As you said, there's several songs that are not recorded. Actually, I had a note of one, right? You had mentioned this. I was talking to you about that Merchant episode, and there was a part of it where you spoke to him about a song he had done, Pain.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That big song, boy.
Yeah, so I never heard it. So
He made the semi-finals with it, but didn't reach the Savannah.
Didn't reach the one.
I could not understand
Yeah, the song is a bad song. Bad
the
song.
lyrics in that.
Yeah.
And it was you see, one of the problems I think that Merchant had, he was seeing the world and people were seeing Trinidad and Tobago only. So a song like Pain, which touched on what was going on wrong in the world, didn't really register to the average Trinidadian, you know? And that is what I think happened with that song Pain, because that, to me, that was a winning song.
Yeah.
Right? Not only for the melody, but for what the lyrics said. And the feeling, the hurt that you get just listening to it.
Just the way he put it together.
Yeah. And I put that down as one of his top 10 songs.
Yeah.
But Merchant, I tell you two people that I really put in a class by themselves. Merchant and Winsford Devine. Winsford Devine, for his depth. I mean, I used to go to his home and talk to him. He was an avid reader, you know.
Right.
And he would watch, the type of television he would watch is about world history and that kind of a thing, you know, because he wanted his knowledge. And he left school at age 13, you know. He left school in what he would call second standard.
Right.
And yet his knowledge was bigger than people who have university degrees. So much so that I was great to see that he got an honorary degree because he was well deserving of it. But Merchant could compose a tune in 5 minutes. There was an example that I got from Crazy. Crazy said, Merchant came to him and he wanted some money. He said, well, what do you want for it? He said, well, I want a song from you. He said, all right, well, just tell me where you want to sing on. He said, no, well, something like a taxi driver or something like that. He said, well, give me the money now. He said, no, when you finish the song, you'll get it. And he started to walk away. And Merchant said, I have it already, you know. And he said, right there and then, he started to strum his guitar and he said, come crazy, drive it.
This is crazy.
And started to sing the song. Merchant too crazy. He said, but you're a madman. How you could compose that so quick? The song, as you know,
one of the
big
crazy
that song
biggest
came.
songs. Yeah, one of the crazy biggest songs.
Yeah.
And his intricate writing too. It's no joke writing. It's not a pure song.
And not only that, his melodies were unique. No, you can't say, well, that's somebody else's melody, Steve, and he do this with it or nothing like that. It was unique, special.
The two men you call in particular, because they had a way of, writing, well, Merchant in his case writing for himself, but the ones you write for people, like Drivers is a good example.
course,
So
writing for
it
people
built
is
for
a
crazy.
art, you know.
Yeah.
And Devines do it too.
Well, there was one, I was looking at, late last night, I was watching your interview with a very young Machel Montano in school uniform. And it was so interesting the way you put the whole interview together, because you went in studio with him. Again, very, very insightful questions to somebody who had to be a teenager in school uniform.
I must say this.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Machel's mother because I taught her at St. James Secondary. She was in second form when I first went into the school. And I knew her bigger sister who was in the fifth form. So I know the family well.
Right.
And when Machel came on the scene and started to think, I was observing from a distance.
Right.
But there were comments from the public that they're pushing this boy too hard and what kind of family is this? They're pushing him into Kaiso to sing with a big hardback men and all this kind of thing. There were a lot of negative comments.
Yeah.
And I called her and I said, I want to do a showcase with your son, with Machel. And she said, you sure? I said, yes. I said, this could do a lot for him. She said, all right, where we going to do it? I said, I want to come home by you and do it. And when she came, I said, we discussed it. O'Neill used to come and pick me up and we would drive together to the location. And he would always decide while we're walking how we're going to approach the particular person. I said, I want to bring out the fact that Machel is actually in school and doing well. He said, that's a great one. So we set it up that he's returning home with his books.
In uniform.
In uniform. And then I met him coming from school so that it was established to the viewer right away. This is not just a off the street kind of kid. This is an intelligent person who has chosen music as his career, in a sense. Yeah. Because he had already gotten 7 1s at O level.
That's right. Yeah.
He was an intelligent human being.
And not just ones, he said biochemistry, physics, the hard subjects.
Hard subjects. He was getting distinctions in. And people were saying negative things about his family and him to sing that he wanted to sing Kaiso, So I think it might have thrown a little water on the fire.
Trouble water.
That people started to look at him in a slightly different light. And I was hoping that Showcase would have done that for him. And I approached it from that point of view. But as time showed that he was able to win over the public eventually by the way he carried himself, the way he displayed himself, and the intelligence that he put forward even in doing interviews and so on. So I felt good about that. And a lot of the showcases I did, I tried to look at some of the negatives that people had about the person to see if I could bring out the positive side of certain Calypsonians that people would be bad talking in public, even though they like their songs.
Yeah.
But they would always say, he's a damn Calypsonian. As though a Calypsonian was a bad word.
Yeah, it's like so. Yeah, they treat it that way. So even, like, again, in today's eyes, when you're too young to soca, it sounds like just a song. Yeah. It sounds like somebody just singing too young, so like a child singing it today. Yeah. It's a whole different meaning of what's put in.
And I mean, that somebody like Devine could capture.
Yeah, that is
what the parents put over to them, that we are concerned that people are saying this about him. He's too young for soca and that kind of a thing. Devine was a master. I mean, I sat down and I learned a lot from him. he even told me, he said, anytime you have a hit song, you could get 4 songs from that song, you know.
I see.
I said, what? He said, the first thing you could do, play the chords backwards. And you have a new song. No, he said, you learn how to build from your hits into new hits by using the elements of it that worked, but in a different way, in a fresh way.
Yeah.
And he said, even your topics must build as you go along. Throughout the years, as a lyricist, which is what I consider myself mostly, I would always try to find the circumstances. And I am writing a book, by the way, about my history of composing lyrics with different composers, because I've worked, with Ray Holman initially.
Yeah, the best.
Worked with Boogsie, Sharpe, that in itself was fantastic. Pelham, Goddard, of course. Brian Bean Griffith.
Right.
And some other people lesser known. I've even did a couple songs where Merchant gave me the melodies to work with. Like, I remember Africa for deceased Wayne Rodriguez. That, was a big song. I got that melody from Merchant. I wrote the lyrics with. And, I could say now, the idea for it came from Umbayao. Because I'm saying, okay, you went up, you dream you was in Africa. But I'm going to say now, I remember Africa.
So it's an extension of the...
It's like an extension of Umbayao. And it was something that my boy taught me.
Devine.
That you build from your former ideas. When I did Pan on the Move, and the next year we had the problem where they ran through the band and whatnot. Pan on the Run was a natural. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
So you build from what before. When I worked with Edwin Pushet, I called the song First in the Line after we had written the one before, which was Thunder Coming. Thunder Coming was something that was an extension of something he told me. He said, these big bands that we're going to fight, we were moving up from what we call medium to large. Everybody telling me I'm wasting my time. He said, but Trinidad have an expression. When, like, if I come in to destroy you, I say, Thunder come in, I say, I like that expression.
Yeah, that's good.
And we call the song Thunder Come In. He came 5th. But incidentally, Trinidad All Stars also played it and came 2nd. And I thought they had won the Panorama.
Yeah.
Right? But the song was saying, and I think it achieved it, to just reach the final, the band showed we're just not a little band that taking part in things. So he said, Alvin, what are we going to do next year? I said, we come in first.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it First in the Line. He said, I like it. And the band did win the Panorama.
Nice.
And the 3rd song now, when we were celebrating the victory of First in the Line, he said to me, next year going to be hard. Everybody coming at we. That's Havana going to be a battle zone. Well, Jesus, you don't have to say that. My mind done from that already. The word battle zone went into my head one time. That song was literally written in my mind a year before.
Wow.
Battle zone, that was a given. And as you see, they were the one.
Of course, gone again.
I don't even want to talk about showcase. What they call it? When they call the 3rd one? Showtime.
Right.
I could say this to a certain extent. Showtime, although it was written for Silver Stars, I was really thinking of Trinidad All Stars when I wrote this song, because that was the true Showtime band. In my mind, they had no other band that really captured performance on a stage like Trinidad All-Stars in the 80s. And although I'm writing in the 90s now, I was thinking of their performance with Woman on the Bass. Unknown man.
Yeah, Heat is the one that is
I
standing
couldn't
to me a lot.
say that, but because I was writing it for Silver Stars.
Right, yeah. But there's on your mind.
And from the time I brought it, Edwin had an expression, people don't come to hear Panorama. They come to see Panorama. So I like the idea of showcase.
Sometimes.
He said, but one thing, the only band I don't want to play this tune is Trinidad All-Stars.
Right.
He told me that. And then Smooth called me. And Smooth said, Alvin,
Go over that.
the band that wins Panorama this year will be playing Showcase. And I'm playing it. So I came and I tell Edwin, I said,
settled.
you ain't going to want to hear this. All-Stars playing Showcase too. He said, oh God, oh God. Unfortunately, Edwin got sick that year.
I see.
He came out of hospital on a wheelchair with a nurse and a doctor in the Panya to finish the Panorama arrangement for semi-finals.
Wow.
And he said, the only thing I'm not going to give them is the introduction. I'll wait till they get in the finals. Right? They came 1-2 with All-Stars.
Right.
And it was now up to the finals. Edwin was too sick to come back and give the introduction.
Wow, yeah. So.
I wonder if I should say this. I had an idea for the introduction. Edwin always placed a lot of importance on the way your introduction introduces one.
Yeah.
He always tell me, from the time we played the introduction to both of the songs that we won in Panorama, we won it after the introduction. As soon as we played the introduction, we won.
We win already.
First in the line where we used the theme song from the Olympics.
Right.
From the time we played it, because the Olympics was fresh in people's mind, the band was already at them.
Front to front.
Battle Zone, we're thinking about what we're using for the introduction. Is a member of the band come and he say, we're going to put on a real performance, like a theatrical performance. Let me use the introduction from 20th Century Fox.
Right.
And I telling you, from the time the band played that, we could have stopped playing right there, we win the Panorama. The introduction won us the Panorama. So Edwin and I knew the importance of a good introduction. I had the idea,
Right.
but I could not get to him because he was in hospital and they were not allowing visitors. I went to the band members, and the person who was drilling the band at the time and who was given the responsibility of doing the introduction had already taught the band an introduction. It was going to be very difficult for him to change the introduction at that time.
Right.
So I never got to tell him what my idea was. My idea, in fact, was to treat Showcase as a circus type thing, where, you know, the circus master would come out and say, it's showtime, right? Pam pam paradadam pam 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 paradadam pam 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 pam. That was my idea to start the.
Yeah, that would be it for the Samaroo.
No, the Savannah would have gone crazy.
Yeah.
Because everybody know that, you know, that type of things. But these are some of the things that I went through as a lyricist, trying to find the right theme. I felt theme. One of the things that Winsford Devine told me about Panorama selections, he said, remember the elements. Fire, water, wind, hurricane. You understand? Thunder.
Yeah.
He said, anytime you use the elements, you have a theme.
You feel it.
And the pan can interpret it. And if you look back at the winning selections in Panorama, you see where the use of the thematic and the elements that we know of in Pan was used effectively to get across, what they were doing.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Perfect sense.
Yeah. When you look back at it, especially.
So this is what I did.
Right.
This was from a music point of view, and I didn't get to tell you what was most important, that after the second beating or the third beating by my father, I kind of lay low for a while. And of course, I shared my experiences with my wife. And one day she said, for your birthday this year, I'm giving you a month's lessons on the piano with Treasure La Chapelle. So I called Treasure and I said, my wife has told me I should come and learn to play the piano by you. She said, go and buy a grade 1 book, Royal School of Music, and bring that when you come this evening. So during our lunch hour, I went and I bought the book. And then I sat down and I started to go through the book. And I did all the exercises in the book before I went to her. So when I went in the afternoon and I got the book, she said, what the hell is this?
Book
I
done.
thought you said, I don't know music. I said, to me, it was math.
Yeah.
I mean, 4 quavers in a bar and all them kind of nonsense.
Yeah,
I
it's
said,
maths,
it's
right?
mathematics. I ran through that in no time. She said, well, I tell you something. You sit in grade 1 next week.
Oh.
Since you know so much. When you don't get 100 in grade, I don't know if you ever
No, I never do grades.
you get 99 when you get everything right. So don't give me 100. So I got 99. And to cut a long story short, I reached as far as the grade 8 theory, but only up to grade 4 in the practical. I could never be a pianist, and I could never go on stage and play for somebody.
Right.
I mean, I learned how to make the chords. I learned how to play all the scales,
Right.
in the minor scales and everything. But it was not my thing.
Right.
I mean, I learned to play the quattro. That was my thing, right?
Yeah.
But the piano, I could never master the piano. I had an aunt who never took a lesson, but she could walk on a keyboard and just play by ear. Any song she heard on the radio, she could come and play it. And I realized certain aspects of music is God-given.
Yeah.
You either have it or you don't have it. They say in China, they lock a set of children into a room with a keyboard and they tell them nothing. And one of the children would go straight on and play Tchaikovsky.
Yeah, and they know, so they know what's your calling.
He's born it. He's been given the gift of music, right? So I decided to then study music from an analytical point of view, if you may call it that.
Right.
I got a software, and Finale. In fact, I bought Finale 1.0.
Yeah.
That's when it first came out around 1989.
Right.
Learned how to use it and started doing scoring of music.
Also, that's how you started the arrangement too.
Yeah.
I understand.
So I started to learn. And you see, it helped me develop a sense of pitch because you're playing the keyboard with your left hand and you're operating the computer with your right hand.
So you had to listen.
You don't look.
You had to listen.
You don't look to the left anymore.
Yeah.
If you got to play C and you played wrong, you know you didn't touch C. Right? So I was developing a sense of pitch.
Yeah.
And then I started to learn chord progression. I got into chord progression and what you would call tensions through Ovid Alexis, master keyboardist,
Right.
who later on went abroad and was at one of these top schools abroad. I have to thank Andre Tanker too. Andre used to come to me and say, Alvin, I need to have this scored.
Yeah.
I'm going to London. And they tell me I have to send my music on sheets
For the band.
music before I arrive. So I got him to give me everything. I got him to record it, play it on the keyboard, and then I analyzed it with Finale, then printed out the sheets, and we sent it up. And when he went up there, he said, Alvin, the men were playing my music. Yeah. Exactly. I said, but is you playing here? I said, all I did was transfer it. He said, but no, it was magical. Just hear a whole orchestra playing my thing correctly. I said, but you came and you played the parts for me.
Yeah.
You know, then the other Xander, the real one, the one who could play, he used to come by me and put down things and he said, listen, when I play this part, I want you to put tenor sax tone on it for me. That one is for trumpet. You know what happened? He said, when he go on and he hand you sheet music, those are the early days when you're giving people sheet music, they were very skeptical about, they like the handwritten one by Art Decoto.
Right, only codes, of course.
Write it out front. But when they see this thing printed, no, that computer don't know what it's doing. So when he said, when he hand them the music and a tenor man say, I can't blow that. That is computer nonsense. He said, you want to hear it? And he put in the cassette because I had to give him a recorder. He said, who blow that? He said, you have to blow it now. But it was the computer playing it.
Yeah, of course.
But and then too, in those days, you could tell the computer not just to play it staccato. You say, give it a little flair for me.
Of course.
And the computer could actually make it sound like a real instrument. You see,
well, the earliest days of what we see now,
that was AI.
Of course.
AI was with us.
Yeah. Well, it always built in. And one of the things with going back to you and outside of the musical thing, your diction, your tone, the way you carry, the way you say things. I remember you were telling me about a relationship with you and Lester and Paul in terms of helping artists to deliver.
Oh yeah, one of the things I did, I have to be in the studio when any of the song that I was associated with actually produced.
Yeah.
And I think what I brought to the studio sessions was diction, clarity of expression. Both Destin and I would sometimes work out harmonies. He was very good at harmonizing when he used the backup singers. Sing this one, sing that one, sing that, and so on. Great, absolutely awesome. But when they sing, I say, wait, I ain't hearing what all you're saying. I need a little clarification on your expression. And I was very good too, I think, at phrasing.
Right.
It's not just bam, 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 bam. A little lilt on this word, come back in on that kind of a thing. And sometimes I would go to the mic and I would sing it the way I think it should be sung. And then they would say, okay, yeah, I get your message now, and so on. So that was my contribution in the studio. Of course, we would also look at what key this person going to sing in. And I sometimes would tell Lester, could we go up a semitone and find a little flat on the higher notes?
Right.
And things like that. Some people say, no, I can't sing in that key. I say, it's not your key. You don't study the key. We're looking at your range. The perfect range for you. And we'd go a little higher, and then you'd see the song get a little brighter and things like that. Tempo. We talk a lot about that. 120 or 115 of, what's the right tempo for the song. And these are the things that I think I gave an input. But I'm telling you, working with people like Pelham, Leston, and Ibo from South,
all the greats.
Experience for me. It was a learning experience. These guys are geniuses. I'm telling you that.
Well, geniuses is like with geniuses. You're saying these guys are geniuses, like he's not.
I'm telling you, listen, when you go by Pelham and you just say, I have a song, you just sing it for me, let me hear. And while you starting to sing it, he done doing so.
He said so. He said so in the interview. He talk about it.
Lord.
And he doing that with some of the greats.
He said, wow.
Yeah.
One of the hardest songs we ever did. Pan for Carnival.
Me and Pelham.
Written by the late, oh gosh, don't help me, don't let me forget people's names. No, I'm just telling myself that. We're going to remember it just now. It will come back.
Yeah.
But when he came home by me, he said, Alvin, I hear you could write lyrics, and I have a melody here. Who could forget this man, new boy? And he said, so I set up my keyboard, I had my little room, and he started to play. I said, baby, stop right here. I said, I just work from melodic lines.
Right.
All them chords you playing there. He said, I can't play with my finger. I just play with my whole hand.
Right.
So you had to find a way to understand what I do.
Yeah.
So, ching, 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 ching. I said, what the ass is this? So after he gone, I go to a finale and I'm looking at all these notes. I say, what the hell? I said, well, I could take it by lesson and thing. So when I go by lesson, I say, you matter what? What's this? Every note is a different chord. I said, but this is what the man give me. He said, well, no. You're going to go back to finale and pull out a note from each chord and make a melody
note
from
by
that.
note, right? Yeah, chord.
So I went back and I lift a note out of it and I create a melodic line on top of the chords.
See.
Shanakwa is the singer,
How you
but the
find that?
composer. Look for it. I remember his name now.
Ralph Roberts.
Ralph Robertson. Right. Ralph Robertson, right? Not Ralph. Ralph.
Yeah, Ralph Robertson.
Ralph Robertson. That's the person.
Okay.
So Ralph Robertson come by me and played with all his fingers. Great pianist.
Yeah.
Great.
You had to isolate a melody now.
And I had to isolate a melody from that. When I go back now, let's then say, by the way, them notes he was called, you could give me the names of those chords.
You like it?
So I had to go back now and tell finale, name of the chord.
Right.
When I come back, he said, Alvin, we're going to use the chord at the beginning of each bar. Drop all the other chords.
Wow.
It's too much.
Uh-huh.
Right? And then he started arranging his song.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sweet.
I'm telling you. Leston is a genius. When we called, he said the only person going to say, I have a little girl named Shanakwa.
Uh-huh.
And Shanakwa come in that studio and started singing
Knock
that
it
song.
out.
Now, I'm going to tell you something else. That's one of the greatest songs that I was associated with.
Right.
Writing the lyrics for it now, after I get it, I say, how the hell to write? I remember the year before, I was jumping up to a steel band. And I was saying to myself, you know, Pan is Carnival. I enjoying the carnival because I jumping in a steel band, not a brass band.
Yeah.
And that's where I get the idea. And I call it Pan is Carnival.
I'll do that.
My greatest joy was when Jet Samaroo called me and he said, Alvin, I'm going and play Pan is Carnival in Panorama. He said, I get in opposition from the boys. They want to play a kitsch.
Yeah.
He said, but this song is a challenge.
Right, you like it?
And I taken the challenge. When I went in the yard and I hear what he put in down, I said, boy, I want to walk. He came and he called me now. He said, when we playing on the drag, I want you to walk at the side of the band. I'm going to be playing it at different tempi. When I play it, what you consider to be the right one,
You're going to that?
do me so. That's gospel. And boy, he put on a tempo at time and I say, oh gosh. And I do him so. And he shake his head so.
My God.
The band came first in the prelims. History will tell you I'm right. They came first in the prelims that year with Panis Carnival. And that's where the fight down started. They accused him of making the band song like a West band. You might not understand the importance of that, but he would know.
Yeah. Just make them sound like a uptown.
The West bands was Starlift
Yeah.
and Phase 2 and Invaders.
Them, right.
That's before Soca.
And you telling me I am Renegades
Yeah.
and you
Something like
making
them.
me song like Phase 2? The bandmen could not accept it. They wanted him to drop the song and change to a Kitchener song. But he stuck with it. He didn't win the Panorama. But I telling you, if you go back and listen to that performance at the final night, it is one of the greatest performances of a difficult tune.
Yeah.
The chording of that tune, what he had to do to spread the notes throughout the band. Because if you know how bandmen arrange, no one band could play the chord sometime. You know? You have your guitar band that plays chords.
Sections.
Right? But they're strumming sometimes on one note and then they will play the four chords.
Right, yeah.
Right? But sometimes to get that chord, you see some additional plus 7th and plus 11th that men like Boogsie like to put into Panorama arrangements, you have to run tenor, you play
Yeah,
this
of course,
note.
yeah,
Double
break it
tenor,
up.
you play that. Double second, you play that. Double tenors, you play. The guitar bands, you play that, and so on.
And then he hit the chord.
When that man spread them chords through Renegades, I said, Jet is a genius.
Yeah.
He was in a class by himself.
Yeah. Jet is one of them.
And he always tell me, that's the only time I get to play what I wanted. Everything else I play was what the band wanted.
Yeah, he gave his way.
But he got his way. And he was satisfied.
Yeah.
So, these are some of the experiences that I had in working with some of the best musicians in Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, I could call out their names from now till tomorrow morning. I was really blessed to work with great musicians, great composers, men of class.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because it was always a learning experience for me to be in a studio. Go down south. What I liked about Ibo, every time you come out your car, your tune playing. He let you hear your music on nobody else's tune.
Yeah.
You feel good already because you're coming in.
Play any mood.
And he said, boy, I like your tune. And he bigging you up and,
As I talking south, it has some things we had to talk about because I wouldn't have known. A few things in talking to you that I learned is, well, first and foremost, that Calypso Showcase was yours. It seemed as though when you're looking back at it, it's a TTT program. And it was a host.
We offered it the idea. I wrote what I wanted to do.
Right.
And it was submitted because it was part of an effort at that time to do more local programming and not just be downloading from what they call the dish.
Right. Oh,
Which
of course,
was cheaper
so
for
foreign
them.
shows, yeah.
And they used to say, whatever we cost for your program has to be compared to what it costs for us to import.
Of course.
And our first program, which was supposed to be half an hour with Coco, actually went for 40 minutes because there were so many calls.
Yeah, people want it.
Yeah. And then they called me after the program and say, your program is extended to 1 hour.
Oh, nice.
The second program was an hour long, right away.
Well, I guess so, because now when I look at them on YouTube, and you upload a lot of them on your channel now, I appreciate that, because now we could go back and look at it, but most of them...
that's what I didn't want it to die.
No, yeah, that's important.
And I said, I'm going to give this back to the world by putting it on YouTube.
Yeah.
I still have a few that I just don't have the time to do. So that's not as important as those that are there, because the ones I put up there were the key ones.
Right.
But there are one or two in between shows that I think people would like to, like the Christmas programs and so on.
Of course, yeah. I think so. People
to hear some of the soca that was singing at the time. And
it's always interesting to see the comments. Because when I was looking at some of them last night, you would see comments like this year, like people talk about it all the time. So one of them I had to go back to before I did an episode was an explainer died. And it was a masterful episode again.
He was one of my close friends, Yeah. He used to talk to me and tell me, how could I improve this?
Serious.
The year he sang Lorraine, you know what I told him? I said, don't try to sing that high note.
Yeah.
Let one of the girls in the chorus hit it for you.
Lorraine.
And he did it.
In the recording?
Go back and listen to it. I say you're going to be, you ain't sure you're going to hit that note. They could do it in the studio.
Yeah, but live.
He say, Alvin, you know what time I just play, tend to do sing that note at all. I just let it go there and sing it.
I will take it in. in.
A lot of the calypsonists would come and ask me comments about how I could improve this, how I could add to that. I mean, I wouldn't want to call names.
Yeah. No, but the steel band side was doing it, so your ear was respected across the board by the best.
But many times people would ask me, I'm going into the finals now, I only have 3 verses. What should I do in the 4th verse? I say, you haven't rounded off. You've been given questions in your song, but where's the answers? You need to add a verse now that gives you the summary of what you've been saying. Don't only criticize. How can we improve?
Of course.
A nice 4th verse.
And you get them there.
So at least I used to give that advice, and then I would see the results of it, where they would do it afterward,
Right, yeah. So
those are little things that I would say I credit myself for, but I re-emphasize that it was really a pleasure, an honor, and a privilege to work with both some of these talented Calypsonians.
Mm-hmm.
Or don't talk about the arrangers. I put them in a class by themselves. The ability to take a song that is 30 minutes long, 30 seconds, and
make a 8-minute piece.
Well, in the old days, it used to be 10 minutes.
I suppose.
Oh, geez,
I suppose it's 8 now.
And 8, they complain and say, taking away my creativity. I have more than I want.
Hey, boxing 8.
And if you listen to some of the 10-minute arrangements, it don't sound boring.
No, there's go.
Because you always had your interests.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about the days of when you're talking about Panorama North Stars.
Yes, complete showdown.
Them men going down the road.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you're talking about steel bands in the early days. People don't know this. Every song they played for Carnival was totally arranged.
Yeah.
They didn't used to play verse and chorus over and over and over. You know?
Yeah, that's right.
You coming on the road and these men playing, going down and rolling notes while they're pushing pan. They were really dedicated persons.
Yeah. No, when you talk greats, one of the greats to me that I saw an interview do and the backstory is something else to hear. Because again, something I would not know is that you and salute O'Neill too, you invest in your own time, your own money, you're trying to figure this thing out. So Zandolie is one of them that comes to mind. One of my favorite lyricists of all time. Mm-hmm. But you getting Zandolie when he would have been Zandolie older at that point in time.
People done with him.
Yeah.
And yet, he was able to come and mash up the Mascam pub because we said, people need to hear you.
So there's a debate David and I have all the time now because I have the benefit now of, everything I do is digital.
Yeah.
So, you see, episodes like these, when we mention explainer interview, what you will see is people go back into the interview and they say, I hear from Corie Sheppard, but I come to check this out. You didn't have the benefit of that. So you were putting together these performances. So that, I would say, infamous. I would say it was Zandolie, Blakie. What's my partner again? You say, bring a letter from your last woman. What's his name?
Oh, gosh.
Black Prince.
And I see people didn't see Black Prince as a top Calypsonian.
No?
I give you a joke.
Oh, serious?
Black Prince used to come home by me. He was like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And one day he sing. I said, wait, you see man sing that? He said, but people ain't taking me on. He sang, the song he sang for me was, and I brought it up in the interview. It have 2 people like to come for Carnival. Hopes, AIDS and herpes.
Yeah.
I said, that's a big song.
And people are taking him on.
No, they're not taking him on. He went to auditions and people leave him out.
Serious?
Now, when I used to do what you call the coming attractions of Calypso,
right?
He came and he said, I have a song. I said, I'll call you when I'm ready. I forgot about him.
Right.
And it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. We're looking to wrap up. And I say, Black Prince, where's your song? He said, I'm waiting on you. I said, all right. You will close off the show tonight. That's the one he sing about, Bring the Letter.
Yeah, boy. A big song.
Mash up the mask totally.
Yeah, boy, it's crazy.
So then, I used to in touch with Spectacular Forum. And he said, Alvin, you have anybody for me? I said, I have just the man to sing just after your intermission. I said, but one thing, I don't want him singing with the band. He had to sing with a guitar. Yeah. He said, you're getting me a piece of nonsense there. I said, trust me. Well, he gave the break on the first night, and he was the mainstay of the tent.
Yeah, boy.
When he sang the letter, boy, oh gosh, mash up place.
He's a punchline champion. Man say you write the letter, he say in the end, the blasted girl is a homo too.
Oh boy, when he sang that the first night in Spectacular Forum, the place erupted.
I can imagine.
People just was rolling on the ground and all kind of thing.
But the reaction in Mass Camp was the same because the backup singers, even with a cast like that, your backup singers was Gypsy, David Rudder, Mystic Pro.
Oh yeah, we set up that with him.
Okay.
We set that up. We wanted some strong Calypsonians backing up to give him the confidence.
This is for Zando.
Yeah.
This is for Zandolie to get him to come out and perform?
Yeah.
Yeah, so at that time, you don't want to come and perform?
Do you know Zandolie was related to Robin Foster?
No, I didn't know that.
No.
Really?
Yeah. In fact, I think it might be his wife. that she related to.
I see.
But when I told him I want to do this man and how do I find him, somebody told me, check Robin.
Right.
And when I asked Robin say, I hope you're ready to go down my arrow or wherever it was. I said, yeah. He said, all right. Just tell him I send you. Because when I went to him and I tell him, I ring someplace and they tell me, he said, well, come now. You just come now. But he didn't sound enthusiastic. So when we found him now, he said, where it is you tell me? You come to film me? Mm-hmm. Why? I said, because the people need to know that you were one of the greatest for the short period that you worked. And I would like you to sing. He said, but no, no recording of me. I said, well, I'm going to come to that after. Because we want you to come up to the Mascam pub and perform. He said, what? I said, yes.
Yeah, about that.
He said, that song is nice, boys. You know, he liked the idea.
Okay.
And then when we do so, and we sit down in front of our rum shop, you know, to do the interview. Mm-hmm. And I start to ask him questions. As I start to talk the tunes, I see a different light come on his face. This man is actually interested in me and my work. And he like it? You know, when I tell him about the stick man and thing, he start to get excited now to talk about it. But I always remember when he say, I am, and he start to growl. I said, oh God, this is going to be a great showcase. So then I organized with Robin to set up everything at the Mascam pub. Mm-hmm. And we get the big men to back him up.
Right.
Gypsy and thing.
Gypsy Prolo, rather.
Yeah, they say they want to back him up because they know the songs too. And they say, we always hold this man in awe for that period that he worked, that 4-year period where every song was a hit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And that night, it was really something special to get that on footage that I could now support the interview with you know, his performances.
So to be clear for people who are listening, you put together the show for the purpose of the interview.
Yeah, I get TTT to... Listen, all I had to tell TTT is I need all any Mascam tonight. You know, they support me 100%. You know. I didn't have to beg, you know. I just used to say, I need... The men who was filming, they say, whether they tell you or not, we coming down for... We will bring the cameras and do it for you. Well, they were really... And if people hear cameras every day tonight, you know they're coming out in the numbers.
Yeah, I guess yeah, the audience was...
Standing room only. The Mascam pub love me.
Yeah,
they say,
it's selling out.
All the Calypsonians coming out.
All the Calypsonians coming out that night.
Well, let me tell you what make this show so unique for me, because... Like, if you ask people who interested in, let's say, old-time Kaiso and they love Kaiso and thing, and if they were to listen to a Blakie, Zandolie, Black Prince, I feel I'm missing somebody from that show. Ask around and hear this, right? The versions of the song from that night is a song that they know more than the original recording. Ask around and see, for sure.
Of course.
So when people hear Man Family, they're referring to that version from Mascamp, or even Blakie Steel Band Clash. They're referring to that version that he's singing in Mascamp over the
course,
original.
because that is what they heard, they learned.
It's on Apple Music.
It is the original.
Correct.
That's the original. And I am using the original in a sense. So that even though the person sing a little part of it, we used to flash back into the original so that you get the feel. And they used to be singing in the same key.
Yeah, all of them.
Oh, amazing.
All of them went at that age.
They would automatically gravitate to the original key and sing the song.
You know what's unique about that too? The audience, without being maybe somebody not musically inclined, but I remember at one point in time, Blakie turned around to the band and he said, well, he always said, well, you ready? And as the song come in, the audience is singing in that original. They remember the song as it was recorded.
Word for word.
Word for word. That was one of them special things. Like it's on Apple Music. Now, if you go for Blakie, that's where you will hear.
Of course. Did you watch the episodes? Because 2 episodes I think I did. With Growling Tiger.
Yeah. You know what was unique about Tiger?
Man died very soon after I interviewed him.
Really?
Yeah. That was a real... You know who told me to do it? Is Jack, you know.
Serious?
They were planning to give him a trophy. And they came and they said, Alvin, you're doing Calypso Showcase. You need to interview the Growling Tiger. I say, he alive? They say, I mean, if he alive.
He was blind.
And they said, Duncan Street or something like that. Apartment, so and so. And they say, you almost blind, you know. He was blind.
He was blind.
And when I come to interview him, he said, who are you? I said, they call me Alvin Daniell. He said, you have some program on TV? Some showcase nonsense?
We tell you?
Yeah. I say, yes. He says, so what are you doing here? I said, come to interview you. He said, what do you know about me? I said, I do a little research on you. You was a boxer. He said, hey, that's when I was a little kid, you know.
Open up.
I said, but you was considered a lightweight champion in that era and thing. And we started to talk about the early days. And as he started to talk, I said, just take everything. I tell him. Go ahead. Whatever you say.
Yeah, everything golden.
It is the most footage I had of one person because
Really?
he had a way he used to describe things. I said, what was the tent like in those days? He said, what was the tent like? Let me tell you the first time I sang in a tent. He said, I was walking down the road and somebody told me to have a tent down, lower down. He said, I know I could sing. I started going in the tent and hear what they're doing. And apparently in those days, if you want to sing, you could have just put up your hand and say, I have a song. Yeah. But when you come on stage now, the regulars would start to bash you in extempo. And if you can't stand up,
If you can survive that, you're gone.
you're gone. So when they start to sing different songs, he say, I have a song. Hey, a new one. When he come up, somebody start at him. You come in here with your grandfather jacket on and your old lady pants, and they start to hit him. And then he answer the band. And people say, what? And they start to answer him. He said, man start to tell him all kind of thing about your father dead and your bury, and you take his jacket and put on. And somebody whispered to him, tell him about the Indian girl he have in shower. He said, and he make up the extempo one time on the spot, and he say, you want some more? Why ain't go by the girl in shower?
Mash up.
He said, that's where my career started.
Gone from there.
And let me tell you something. I had 2 full tapes of my interview with him, and somebody went and covered it over. After I edited parts of it, I lost all of the long talks that we had together about the early days of Calypso, how Roaring Lion had a bicycle paint with so many colors, and how 4 and 5 women used to come in with him when he going to sing and all of that. We lose all that footage. It, like how you interviewing me, that is how I treated it.
Yeah.
Let me just talk, you know? And it was really, really something special, but we lost all of that footage.
Yeah, there's this thing. That was a special one. So I do remember, as we were talking about Machel, we're doing a prize, and Machel being there as one of the people awarding him.
Yeah.
And later on in life. But
that was the second one that I did.
Right. It's so funny you say that, because it's almost like when I saw it, the boxing question just opened. It's like when you ask about the box, and it's something that...
It opened the door.
It did. And it's something that I wanted to talk about in closing, if David go allow me.
Go ahead.
In terms of me looking at what you were doing, I took so many lessons. I'm grateful now that I could call you and just ask, but before I took so many lessons, and that was one of them, where the more prepared you are and enthusiastic about that person genuinely, it's never going to be a very difficult interview, no matter how it starts off. It tends to, I've felt it many times where it gets to this point where the person say, but like, how you know that? Oh, you know that song? And I was like, what do you mean if I know that song? Sometimes I was there. Sometimes it's a song I learn, and I appreciated that your level of preparation going into it. That's why I tell people now when they ask me when the research start for the thing, I can't tell you.
You have to spend the time.
You have to live it, and you have to love it.
You have to live it, but you also have to still sit down.
Of course.
Put all your thoughts together in a particular way. To bring out the best of the person that you are interviewing, because that is your objective. It's not to sell yourself, but to sell the person that you are interviewing.
Yeah. I remember that being one of the first things you told me to when we spoke is like, don't worry about, and I don't ever do it. Like with when we do, for instance, now an important part of the interview now is what is the parts that you clip and put into 1 minute things for social media.
Right.
90% of the things I put there are not in it. Unless I had some important question or input to put in it, I don't see
Just
the
sell
use.
it to person, yeah.
Yeah, I think the archiving and documenting of it important, and is really where I can't tell you how many times people tell me now, they say, boy, all you doing what Alvin Daniell and them fellas doing, and I want to tell them deliberately, but I say, let me don't tell them that till we do this interview, but it's deliberate for us.
I appreciate that.
And we work very, very closely with David to ensure that the quality and the standard that you have set, I am determined to make sure I saw what you did. I study what you do.
To exceed.
I ain't nobody exceed, Pat.
Look,
Especially after today.
Let me tell you about my life today.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I'm an engineer teaching at Miami-Dade College
Right.
to young people who want to become engineers, first of all,
Right.
and to another grouping in Miami-Dade that is what we call a construction trade institute, where people want to become HVAC technicians, plumbing technicians, and electrical technicians. I feel proud about that opportunity to put a lot of the experience I had with my own company, Comfort Engineering Limited, that I had for 32 years, an association with. A lot of the things that I achieved, the construction industry, some of the biggest buildings in Trinidad, we did the air conditioning of. The last project I worked on Richmond Street, involving 4 22-story high buildings and a multi-storage car park. I was like the project engineer for all the disciplines, where I had a plumbing company working through me, an electrical company working through me, and piping people. And that 5 to 6 year experience was part of what made me what I am today, now that I could speak to any discipline in the engineering industry. And getting to see I could cause these young aspirants to excel at what they do, because I demand the best. I let them know that when you don't make 100% in something, that 10% room that you leave is what can cause failure. You wouldn't like to know that a pilot was pushed through his exams and you are flying in that plane.
Yeah, of course.
You wouldn't like to know the doctor who is performing surgery on you. This is the first time he's really holding a scalpel in his hand. That he didn't do the practical. He find an excuse to not be there when they were teaching that aspect of the medical things. You wouldn't like to even know that the Uber driver that you have didn't really pass his license. Somebody gave him a license. You know what I mean? You want to know it was the best that you got. And I try to instill that and to motivate them to go for excellence in their trade. And I feel gratified when someone comes and tells me, I really feel like I learned something today and that this will help me in the future. There's a particular person that I met recently who was one of my former students. And he's now the chief engineer of a hotel.
Wow.
And he did the electrical course with me, and he says, it's because of striving for excellence that I got this job. Always trying to be one better than everybody else. And I thank you for that. This is what my reward is at this stage in my life, that I can give back some of the talents that God gave me, that I can now expound to others and motivate them to be the best at what they do. As far as the musical side of me, I just feel blessed to know that I've worked with some of the greatest of this trade from Trinidad and Tobago. And if my little contribution, especially lyrically, helped to make the song a hit, helped to win a Panorama,
Okay.
helped to take some people to the finals of Dimanche Gras. I am grateful for that. And any assistance that anyone calls to me and asks me if I feel I have the knowledge to tell them how to go about it, because I did productions in the studio. I produced CDs, about 30, 40 CDs, which is still selling. And all my work is registered through a company in Germany called Pelham.
Yes.
That people can, I see people buying and downloading my songs from Australia, India, China, all through Europe, America, and the Caribbean. It's gratifying. And I thank God for that. And I just pray that if there's still an opportunity for make a contribution, that I continue to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we started off by talking about you being a teacher and, teaching. And it's funny when I met you, how many things we have in common. Because I lecture part-time, I play quattro, I like lyrics for things. So maybe it's destined that I was always going to follow the path that I said. But to be a teacher is, they say vocation versus job, right? And it's a calling.
Yeah.
And I think you teach by example. Maybe many, many, many more people than you could ever teach in person. And
exactly.
I'm happy to follow that example. I asked David about the obsession over preparedness. It's because of you. I say we can't have somebody who was by you, and I have to do this now because I enjoy times when you had people multiple times where you could see the person when they were just coming in, and then a few years later you see them a little more seasoned.
Yeah.
I love that.
Watchman, for example.
Yeah, or Ronnie. There are a few of them.
Yeah.
And I feel like if some of what I do now, I felt good sitting with people who you sat with. I never thought that day would come, to be honest. It was a little surreal for me because I would have watched you for so long, sitting with some of those same people. And I try to maintain some, maybe about 60% of the quality you set. We somewhere there at this
what
point.
You all are doing now, what you all are doing now is really timely. It's relevant, and it's avant-garde. Because you all are using... And again, I say this now, to those who are listening, don't fight technology. Embrace it. Because no matter what you do, it's going to be part of you.
100%.
It's going to be in your face. You can't run from it.
No.
So use it.
Yeah.
Use it to your assistance. Make it your slave and not be a slave to it.
Well, we appreciate it as well. And thanks very much. This was a pleasure. We coming back when it's time for the book?
Yeah.
We coming back, right?
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm ready to get the book.
Yes, we will be right back here. Thanks very much.
Let
me just take notes. I'll show and cover everything, did I? Perfect. I don't know what part of the interview you put this back in, but I need to know why you choose this melody suite as the intro for Calypso Showcase.
When O'Neill Davis and I was developing the video, his idea was to take pictures of different Calypsonians that were popular at the time and doing a montage that would introduce the show. And then he said, I need a piece of music. But I don't want somebody singing, because it would focus only on that person. I need an instrumental, catchy. And somehow, I knew I was attracted to this middle break that Leston did. And I said, I have just the thing. And he said, all right, let me hear it. And we went, and I just showed the instrumental break in this melody suite. And he said, oh God, this is you're crazy. He said, oh God, Alvin is a genius. It fit like, and he had the people dancing to it, as you see. When they come out, time it perfectly. And I remember somebody telling me, I only had to hear the opening bars of your intro and I started running home for Calypso Showcase. He said, that piece of music, boy. A lot of people didn't know it was the middle part of thing, This one is my tune. I said, you create that piece of music. I said, no, boy, that's from thing. I said, what? I don't go back and listen to the tune. I didn't pick that up.
Yeah.
But that is the middle break of this melody suite. Less than Paul.
Of course.
Listen, less than.
But the song not written by Devine too?
Of course, it's Devine's composition.
And less
But
than
that
arrangements.
musical middle break was all less than.
Of course.
All less than. That was less than doing his thing. Less than used to have a way to tell me, see that song you have, I had to go down in the stone to get the chords. to get the horns. He said I had to go down in the stone for that. And that man would come back and put some horn lines on a song. You talk about creativity.
Yeah.
When you see he called them fellas inside of the thing, they say, less than you go kill me tonight. Is this hard to blow?
And lots of bus.
You better call your wife and tell her you ain't coming until tomorrow morning. But you had to play this accurate for me.